This is the first time I've ever seen a Nel-Spot 707. I am familiar with the lower, which is based on a Crosman 150, and the parts look an awful lot like the parts that were made by Palmer Chemical to produce the capture line of pistols and rifles that Palmer made off the Crosman platform. Palmer was a company that made Tranquilizer guns, and they made them off of the Crosman 160 dual CO2 rifle platform, and they did them some off this Crosman 150 single CO2 platform. But the bolt knobs and the sight arrangements and the way the barrel support's made and all the things that we see on capture guns, we're seeing a lot of it on this. So that's why I you know, it was one of those things that was reminiscent of a Palmer Chemical capture pistol when I saw it. But 60s through maybe 70s vintage, and the white line spacer, we typically saw the white line spacer on only Sears models of different Crosmans. So this is, you know, this is Sears Roebuck and Company 22 caliber pump rifle, made by Crosman for Sears, and we saw the white line spacers on all the Sears models through the history of all the guns that were made for Sears. Sears' relationship with Crosman ended in about 1970 when, well, when they sold to Coleman or somewhere in that vicinity, and then Sears started carrying daisies after that. But it's always an indication that it's a Crosman made for Sears if it's a white line spacer, and that's what this pistol has. So the prototype was probably looks like a collaboration between the guys at Crosman and maybe the engineer at Palmer. It kind of, because it's so reminiscent of their build quality and their construction style.
Or could it just been that Crosman had, or Nelson had Palmer Palmer Chemical make the gun for them?
Yeah, it's very possible. You know, I didn't know of Palmer ever using any other actions besides the Crosmans until later on, where they used some Sheridans. But most of them were based on the 60s vintage Crosman stuff, and it's good quality product. That was a particularly good era for Crosman, from 64 to 70. Philippon died. That was the founder, or that was the owner of Crosman. He died in 1972, and the designer that had full charge of the design office at Crosman, his name was Rudy Merz, and I consider Rudy Merz a genius. And all the paintball stuff came after Rudy Merz, but all the Palmer stuff came before Rudy was gone. And the Mark I was something that Rudy designed.
I remember you talking about how it had that, you know, the failure mechanism in it, where if the screws weren't in the valve, then the valve would just...
Yeah, it defaulted to a non-catastrophic failure, which is always good.
Yeah.
You don't want pressure systems to blow up in people's face.
Yeah. Or that's what it was. If it was over pressurized, then the screws would prevent it from...
Yeah, what I said was we put 4,500 to the frame just because we know whatever's in a tank's going to wind up in the gun, so why not put it in there yourself?
Yeah.
Find out what's going to happen. You know, you don't want things to come apart in a way that hurts anybody. So.
Yeah. And what ended up happening when you...
In two frames, Mark I frames, the valve screws stripped, and moved the valve body forward far enough to release one of the O-ring seals to blow off non-catastrophic. So it just made you change your shorts. Didn't make you...
Yeah. Didn't make you need new.
Yeah.
Or
didn't change your address.
Cool.